Hi guys, welcome back. Sometimes I got questions from you, my subscribers, anybody else, people I pass on the trail, who are asking me what kind of leashes I am using out on the trail when I'm having Ravi with me, and if there are any specific kind of situations that I switch out between leashes. So in today's video I'm going to talk through several leash options that you can use out on the trail. So if you are searching for the perfect leash for your dog, stay tuned. And when you are choosing a specific leash, it's always good to take a look on your dog specifically, with what leash your dog walks the best, what gives your dog the most opportunities out on the trail to explore as well, because I don't think it's fair to ask for a dog out on the trail to stay to stay straight against you. I mean, you are enjoying the outdoors, so in my opinion your dog should as well. So that's also something that I keep in mind when I am choosing a leash for Ravi. So the options that I am showing here are leashes that I use for Ravi. It doesn't mean that they work for your dog, so always take a look on your dog and your personal situation. What kind of environment are you going to hike in? Because those are all things that are really important. I am going to show the leashes in random order, so it's not that the first leash I'm showing is my favorite one or the last one is my favorite one. It's just in random order, like I said. The first leash that I am showing you is one of these leashes. It is a very long leash. This is a 10-meter leash. It's made of biotin, and I think that is amazing material for out in the outdoors because it is sturdy. It can handle a lot. It's waterproof, so it doesn't soak up any water if your dog has a leash on his harness or collar and it takes a swim. Easily wipe it off with a cloth, with a towel, let it dry out in the air, and it will be dry in no time. And I think these are amazing options. I do not use them out on the trail personally. Why not? Not because I like them, because I think they are awesome. But I use the trekking pole, so I need a hands-free option, and then these do not come in handy, if you ask me, because 10 meters, if you clip that to your hip belt pocket or to your hip belt, whatever you are clipping your dog's leash on when you're out on the trail, when you're having 10 meters on the ground, that's not handy. You are going to fall over it. Your dog is going to get tangled in it. So if you are not hiking with trekking poles, you have your hands available to hold a leash, I can absolutely recommend a biotin leash from 10 meters, 20 meters, depending on how many space you would like to give your dog. The next one is a so-called police leash. At least that's how they are being called here in the Netherlands. Those are just regular leashes from whatever kind of material you prefer. This is just a fabric one. You also have them in leather. You obviously can also use a shorter biotin leash. So a lot of options on that one. And this you can adjust in length because it has several options. If you take it on the shortest length, then I believe this one is about 1 meter, 1 meter 20. And you can switch out the clip and then make different kind of lengths of leash for your dog. I believe this one in the longest is 3 meters, as you can see. So that's really nice as well. So you can adjust the length to the environment that you're hiking in, how busy it is, and the fact if you're having to keep your dog close or he can have space to run around a little bit. Same with the biotin leashes. Great leash. If you are using it on the longest setting, so to call it, then it's not that handy if you are using it in combination with trekking poles, just to avoid that you or your dog are falling over it or getting tangled in it. But yeah, this is a leash option that you see the most. You also have them, of course, in a fixed length. You cannot adjust. But that's a leash that I prefer the least, because you cannot give your dog any extra space. You cannot take your dog any shorter. You all have to wrap it up in your hand, which might not be always handy. What's also super handy to use out on the trail, if you ask me, is a bungee leash. It really comes in handy when your dog's pulling a lot or you're going up and down the mountains a lot, because it takes a lot of pressure from your arms, hips, back, wherever you are having the leash. And this is a new leash that I am going to try this year. And you can say, well, that's a really short one. Yeah, this is not the only part of the leash, but I just wanted to show this one for the bungee specs of it. And you also have them in long leashes, then the whole leash is bungee. You have leashes then only the end is a small part of bungee. So then you have to check out what's easiest and works best for you. As you can see, this is still brand new. This is a combination I am going to use this year, or try out this year, together with this one. This is also a very short leash, And what I am doing with those together, I'm going to clip them, and then I am getting quite a decent length of leash. And if I'm, for example, having to take Ravi really short for a crossing, or when we go to a restaurant, I can take this part off and I have a short leash to keep him close with me. But when we are out on the trail, then he has the extra length of the leash with this bungee. And this is really a loose bungee. Sometimes they are really tight, so you do not have a lot of room, or your dog doesn't. In this case, Ravi does. So yeah, this is a combination I would like to try. And in regards to the length, I think that this is going to work well on my hip belt as well, because I obviously hike with trekking poles. So I always look for leash options that I can clip to my hip belt. I always clip it to it with just a regular climbing carabiner that I clip to my hip belt, and I attach this one to it. And then Ravi is always attached to my hip belt, and I have my hands free to hike with my trekking poles. But these also very easy to take off in case the situation asks for it. And if you are searching for a leash that comes in handy when you need your hands free for your trekking poles or camera equipment, whatever, this one I absolutely like. It's the Ruffwear hitchhiker leash. I made a special video about this one, I think it was last year. I will link it up above here. And this is a great system. It has a leash in here. As you can see, I believe it's 3 meters. You can easily clip it to yourself, and my experience told me that it does not bother you when you have this one under the hip belt of your backpack. So it has a leash in here. It has a system here that you can easily pull the leash out while you are hiking it, wearing it while hiking. You can easily make it shorter, and I think, yeah, that's really a great option. Ravi likes to hike on this one. I do as well, because I can easily make it longer, easily make it shorter, still have my hands free while I'm out there. And the last one, well, that's the most controversial one of all dog leashes, especially when you're out on the trail, and I think also when you're just hiking in villages or anything, and that's the Flexi leash. A lot of people say, do not use this, throw them away, those are trash. Yes, I can agree on that, but I also disagree on that. I do agree on that you do not have to use these kind of leashes when it's very busy, when you're walking in a crowded area, because a lot of people do not know for some reason how to handle these things, and they give the dog all the space. In this case it's 8 meters. Well, you can think yourself what can happen if your dog has 8 meters of this thin little cord and it's going around somebody's legs, somebody else, a dog's legs. So then I should say leave those things at home. But I think for out on the trail, when you are hiking in quiet areas, like for example we often do in the Eifel, 9 out of 10 times we see nobody, and then I think these things are great. They give your dog a lot of extra space to run free and to explore the trail. Although they are not allowed off leash, like I said, 8 meters, Ravi can go a bit. And then I absolutely like these, but you will never see me use this in villages or anything, because then I absolutely agree that those things are crap, because they can cause really serious harm to other people, other dogs, and to your own dog and to yourself. I mean, if you're having to you have an emergency, you have to grab this one, again, little tight cord, your dog's pulling on the other half of it, you can imagine how your hand will look, right? Same happens to your leg. So take a look on the situation, but do not say straight away that these things are rubbish. So those are the leashes that I use for Ravi. I switch them out depending on, do I need to have my hands free? What kind of terrain are we hiking in? How busy is it going to be? Are we going to take a break on the go while we are sitting on a terrace and I cannot use a leash that is 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 meters? I always take a look on the situation, and depending on that, then I always make my decision on which leash I'm going to take that day. This leash is always in my bag. I have one fixed length, I have one that is adjustable, so I have one in my backpack and I have one in my day pack. I always have this one with me, because when we're hiking in quiet environments, like I said, I am using Flexi leash, but those things are crap as well when you are taking a break. So then I always switch out to these ones. But for the longer lines, like I said, I always let it depend on the situation, and you should do that as well. I hope that this video was helpful to you, that it could give you some more information, a little bit of ideas on what kind of leashes that you can use. And if you would like to know anything more, as always, feel free to ask me If you like this video, give us a like so you can help to make this channel grow, and subscribe to the channel, notify the alarm bell, and then as always, enjoy the outdoors. We will catch you on the next trail. Goodbye.